Hello everyone, how are you all? I hope we are all in good condition. So before I start the video, let me introduce myself. My name is Gede Anugrah Pinaruh. My student ID number are 1913011016 and I came from 3B of Mathematics Educational class. In this video, I will explain about basic concept of quadratic equation and find a solution of quadratic equation by factorization. I hope you guys have a good time for watching, so let's get started. Introduction quadratic equation. The quadratic equation has appeared in Babylonian and ancient Egypt. This quadratic equation has been central to the story and application of mathematics for a very long time. Quadratic equations do not arise so obviously in everyday life. They are equally important and will frequently turn up in many areas of mathematics. Both in senior mathematics and engineering mathematics, students will need to be able to solve quadratic equations with confidence and correct. When mathematics is employed to solve complicated and important real-world problems, quadratic equations very often make an appearance as part of the overall solution. Before you start solving the quadratic equation, you must know the definition of it. What actually is the quadratic equation? So the definition of quadratic equation is an equation of the second degree, meaning it contains at least one term that is squared. Standard form of quadratic equation can be defined in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c equal to 0, where first constant a cannot be a 0. A, B, and C are constant which are real numbers. X is an unknown variable, and the highest degree of quadratic equation is 2. Example of quadratic equations. Here are examples of quadratic equations. 2x squared plus 6x plus 9 equal to 0. This one is a quadratic equation in quadratic form, where a is equal to 2, b is equal to 6, and c equals to 9. The second example, x squared plus 25 equals to 0. This one is also a quadratic equation. This one is a little more tricky, so where is a? Well, a is equal to 1, as we don't usually write 1x squared. And where is b? Well, b equals to 0, so it is not shown. And c equals to 25. Because the higher degree is 2, so this is quadratic equation. What about this? X cubed plus x squared plus x equal to 0. It's not a quadratic equation because there is an x cubed term and that not allowed in quadratic equation. Next, 4x plus 20 equals to 0. Is not a quadratic equation because there is no x squared term. In other words, a equals to 0, which means it can be quadratic. Let's think together. The equation of x times x plus 1 equal to 2x squared minus 1 is a quadratic equation or not? Okay, thumbs up. So, if you try to be expanded and simplify this equation, you will get a negative x squared plus x plus 1 equal to 0. Yes, this one is a quadratic equation, but it is not in standard form. Application of quadratic equation in real life. A quadratic equation are actually used in everyday life. For example, first is finding a speed of an object. Quadratic equations are also useful in calculating speed. For example, when you drive a car and the speed is changed every time, by using the quadratic equation, you can estimate the car speed. The second is determining a product profit. Sometimes calculating a business profit requires using a quadratic equation. If you want to sell something, you need to decide how many items to produce so that you will make a profit. By using quadratic equation, however much your item costs to produce, you can set this equation equal to that amount and choose a price from there to figuring a profit. And the third is calculating areas. People frequently need to calculate the area of room, box, or plot of land. There is an example calculating and create the area by using quadratic equation. Say you are asked to build a rectangular football field with an area equal to 9,000 square meters, and you are also told the length of the field should be 300 meters more than its width. How would you build a field if the rectangular field and its area is 9,000 square meters? So if its width is x meter, and based on the condition given, its length will be x plus 300 meters. The area of rectangle is product of its width and length. Hence, x times x plus 300 will equal to 9,000. Rewriting this will give us the quadratic equation as x squared plus 300 x minus 9,000 equal to 0, and this is nothing but quadratic equation. So quadratic equations are actually used every day in real life. They can be used to calculate area, formulate the speed of an object, and even to determine a product profit. It is important that you know how to find solution for quadratic equation. What is a solution? The solution of the quadratic equation is the value of x, where the value of x is a real number in a quadratic equation that satisfies the equation. If the value of x is substituted into the quadratic equation, then the quadratic equation becomes true. For every quadratic equation, there can be one or more than one solution. These are called the solution or roots of quadratic equation. For example, consider this quadratic equation: x squared minus 1 equal to 0. The solution for this quadratic equation are negative 1 and 1. When substitute this value to the original equation, then the quadratic equation becomes satisfied or true. Here is the proof when the values negative 1 and 1 are substituted into the equation x squared minus 1 is equal to 0, and this equation becomes satisfied. Solving a quadratic equation by factoring. There are several methods that can be used to find solution of quadratic equation. In this lesson, we will learn how to factor quadratic equation where the coefficient of x squared is 1. Let's quickly review. First, how quadratic factorization. The general form of quadratic equation is ax squared plus bx plus c equal to 0. So we have got this equation right here, where a will equal 1, b will equal 5, and c will equal 6. One of the ways in which we factorize the quadratic was by splitting the middle term. The technique was very easy. We first write the coefficient of the middle term as the sum of two numbers, that n1 and n2, and the two numbers are such that their product equal to the product of a times c, that equal to 6. Next, find two numbers n1 and n2 that multiply to give 6 and add to give 5. How do we find n1 and n2? So to find that two numbers by least factor of a times c, that equals 6, and then try adding sum to get by equals 5. Factors of 6 includes 1, 2, 3, and 6. Then select two numbers, for example 2 and 3. That 2 plus 3 is equal to 5 and 2 times 3 is equal to 6. So the number of n1 and n2 is n1 equal to 2 and n2 is equal to 6. So this quadratic polynomial can be written like this. The middle term after expansion will look something like this. What we have done here is split the middle term. 5x was written as 2x plus 3x. And how does this help? After expansion, we group this term like this. And how does grouping be? We look for common term in each group. In the first group, x is common, and in the second, 3 is common. So this can be written as x times x plus 2 plus 3 times x plus 2. Now in this polynomial, x plus 2 is common to both terms. Taking this common factor out from both terms, we get this. So this quadratic polynomial was factorized to this, and the two factors of the polynomial are x plus 2 and x plus 3. If you understood of this concept of factoring, then finding the root of quadratic equation is very easy. We have already seen how it factorized, and we can write this as x plus 2 times x plus 3 equals 0. Now I want you to think of it logically. When the product x plus 2 times x plus 3 is equal to 0, what can be implied? So we can say that at least one of them will be 0 or either will be 0. We can say that either x plus 3 equals 0 or x plus 2 is equal 0. Transporting the constant to the right, we can say that x equal negative 3 or x equal negative 2, and these are the root of this quadratic equation. So that's all about the basic concept of quadratic equation, and I deeply apologize if I made some mistake. Thank you for watching. See you again. Goodbye.